Band president has been unmasked, but fans aren't buying it. A band was removed from Ozzy Osbourne's last show, and did Bad Wolves break up? All that and more on this week's episode of
The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Jesea Lee Show.
Hey, it's me, Jesea Lee, aka Music News Daddy. Thanks for stopping by the podcast this week. Ooh, my quads are burning a little bit from that excellent crabcore stance, man. I don't usually stand up when I'm playing the entrance, when I'm playing the intro music like that. I'm usually sitting down with a flying V, but I don't know. Today was a day to get up, stand up. You should stand up too. When you're listening to this podcast or watching it, stand up. You know, I'm worried your music news daddy is concerned about your cardiovascular health. Okay, I want you to get up, get that blood flowing, get it moving. And while you're doing that, why don't you go ahead and bang your head on that follow button and that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you're listening to it at. Leave me a 5-star rating if you can too. That'd be so awesome. That would help me out so much. If you're on Apple Music, you leave a rating there. I think there's a comment section or a review section on there as well. We'll scroll down. Leave me a comment. Tell me how good my beard looks today. My little ghost fade. Shower me with praise is what I'm getting at here, okay? Our lead story today, the band president has taken off their mask. Or did they? And also, I don't know. Are we calling this band a band? Is it a they situation? Them, their mask? Or is it a solo project? Is it just him? Just this guy? Because at this point, you know, it's pretty much centered around this one guy, this singer. So I don't know if we really call this a band or not. Or if we're just calling it the president. He's the president. But the band showed up. If you're unfamiliar, the band president showed up a few months ago out of nowhere. No one knew anything about him. They had no prior social media, no other prior music up or anything like that. They were super mysterious, super masked. But they already somehow had a show scheduled, their first show scheduled at Download Festival in the UK. So for the first show, without even having any music out, they have not a headlining spot, but a spot at a huge festival in the UK, which was crazy. Then they released the song In the Name of the Father, their first single, which everyone seemed to dig pretty much. It was a pretty cool track. And then now in the music video for the second single, Fearless, spoiler alert, at the end of the video, the singer takes off his mask. President is unmasked. But fans and myself are not convinced, all right? We're not buying it. We don't think this is the real person behind this mask. I'm going to get into that in a second. But here is my problem with the band president. I love the music. I love the whole lore, the story, the world building, you know. I liked how he's like a metalcore Ronald Reagan. I think it's really cool. Like I said, I love the music. I even love the idea of the mask, but not that mask. All right. I don't like that mask. That mask looks like shit. It looks like a Christopher Walken mask that they got off of Temu or something. It doesn't look good. You know, even before they showed the mask up close, you know, they were doing all the teasing, all the marketing, the lead up to the first song before they even showed what the singer looked like. Even then, I thought the mask looked kind of cool, kind of mysterious. And then we got the close-up of it. I don't know, man. I feel like you could have spent more than $5 on the mask. I got to talk to AJ from the House of Masks on YouTube and see what he thinks. If if there's anyone that's the authority on masks around here, it's him. So I need to know what his thoughts on it are. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm not a mask aficionado. I don't think the mask looks good. Like I said, I like the music, just don't like the mask. So anyway, in the music video, at the end of the video, he takes the mask off. And people don't believe, me personally as well, I do not believe that is the person behind the mask. That dude is not the guy singing in the band. This is a diversion. It's a classic red herring. We all know who is really behind that mask. You know who it is. It's boxing legend Mike Tyson, obviously, of course. I mean, it's so clear that it's Mike Tyson behind that mask. You know, they almost had to call the band president, but they were able to fix it in post, thankfully. No, I mean, this mask coming off at the end is not the guy that everyone thinks it is. Obviously, the other theory floating around there, the very wrong theory, but you know, the prevailing theory is that the singer of President, now I'm saying it like Mike Tyson, President, is that the singer of Mike Tyson, the singer of the band President, is theorized to be Charlie Simpson, who is the singer of a band in the UK called Busted, pop band over there. And everyone says the voice sounds the same. He even apparently has the same gap tooth. And the band name, President, is registered as a business to Charlie Simpson. So everyone's saying that Charlie Simpson is the singer of this band, President, not Mike Tyson, which is wrong. But I mean, I'll let people, believe what they want. The interesting part about this, though, because I mean, again, this has been the kind of the widely accepted theory that it's Charlie Simpson, but Busted, his other band, has a show on June 15th at Summertime Festival, I think it is. Yeah, they're playing at the Summertime Ball Festival at like Wembley Stadium, I believe. Yeah, Wembley Stadium on Sunday, June 15th, which is the same day that President is supposed to be playing at Download Festival. It's still in the UK, but let's look at the distance here. We throw this in Google Maps. We're looking at like a 2-hour drive, which is totally doable. He could perform at Summertime Festival, their Summertime Ball, and then jet straight over to Download Festival, throw a mask on, and play as President. Or actually, it's probably vice versa, since I believe President is going to be one of the opening bands at Download Festival, because they're a tiny font band. So they're probably one of the first bands to play at Download Festival. So it's probably happening is, if this is what's happening, President's going to play their set. If this is not Mike Tyson again. If it's Charlie Simpson, they're going to play their set. And then Charlie Simpson's going to book it to the Summertime Ball and play there. Maybe they have a headline set there. Maybe he's like, they're playing later at the night. Still, though, that's a pretty good diversion. It almost feels like they planned this. Like they almost because they're really trying to throw people off the scent here, especially with like unmasking the singer in the video. This almost feels like a really good diversion is to book a show intentionally on the same day that the band's supposed to play their first show in Download Festival. Like, how could it possibly be us? How could it be in two places at one time? This is some Scooby-Doo shit, man. I like this. Like I said before, I love this whole story, this whole lore, this like world building, and this whole just like, I don't know. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's just mask sucks. Yeah, I hate to keep harping on that mask, but so with this band, having all this success right out of the gate, immediately people start calling them an industry plant. And I feel like the term industry plant right now, especially, is just thrown around willy-nilly. Like a lot of people don't really know what the word industry plant means. They just kind of say it. It's a fun buzzword that people use for anyone that's successful in music. And I asked my Instagram story at Jesea Lee, do you think the band President is an industry plant? And 67% of you voted yes, that you thought that they are an industry plant. And like I said, I don't know how many people are super clear on what that term actually means. I mean, generally an industry plant is somebody who has come out of nowhere, apparently. Like they've had this like grassroots promotion. Like they just start blowing up organically on social media or like through playing local shows or whatever. They had a big blow up, completely organic. And then you find out that this person is either A, connected to the industry, some nepotism's happening, like maybe their dad owns a record label or is a high-powered booking agent, something like that. Or another way that happens is like maybe the label finds an artist specifically and like straps the rocket to their back, sets a jetpack on and sends them to the moon, but doesn't say that they're involved. Like they'll do all this the label or the agent or whatever will put all this money into the band and pump them up, but they won't actually say like, hey, we're helping this band. They'll let it look like it's a organic thing, but really there's a lot of money being pumped into it. Now, this would apply to the band President, I would say, except for the anonymity of the whole thing. It's the anonymity of the whole thing if we're getting into it. If we're getting into the nitty-gritty, it's the anonymity of the nitty-gritty. Because the whole secrecy of not knowing who they are is part of the story and the lore. So, yeah, maybe like the person behind the mask is famous, but they're not hiding it because they're trying to come across as like this brand new, grassroots organic band. They're hiding it because it's part of the storyline. The storyline is this is a masked band. We don't know who this is. It's a president, I mean, the band has their first show ever at Download Festival, and they were just on the cover of Rock Sound magazine with barely having any music out. They had a Download show, like I said, before they even put the first song out. They put that first song out, and they had a cover of magazines. Like, I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that this band has some sort of industry connection, some kind of musical industry connection, whether it's Mike Tyson or Charlie Simpson, whoever it is. Obviously, this band, who's over behind this band, has some serious connections to make this all happen. So I don't think that is even up for debate, but I don't think that necessarily, like I said, makes them an industry plant because they're not trying to pretend like they don't. Because they're not trying to pretend like they don't because they want to appear organic and grassroots or whatever you want to call it. They're pretending they're not connected to anything because they're trying to be mysterious. So it's a very gray area. It's actually a very clever route to go about it, I feel like, it's a way to, kind of really leapfrog everyone else that's working hard and out there busting their ass and trying to make it without connections. It's a clever way to leapfrog all of that without coming across like a total D-bag, I feel like. But let me know. Do you still think they're D-bags for doing that? Do you think they're an industry plant? Or are you a smart person and you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's obviously Mike Tyson behind that mask? Next story, Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath's final show will be live streamed globally, and Sharon Osbourne apparently had to kick a band off of it. So Black Sabbath and Ozzy's final show is coming up next month in July. It's in Birmingham, UK. And dude, this thing is just like, it's every metalhead's dream. Like, I feel like every metalhead in the world would like give up their visitation rights for their kid for the weekend in order to go see this show. Like, it is just a stacked lineup of Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Tool, Slayer, Pantera, just a ton more. But of course, because it's so awesome and kick-ass, it's sold out. You couldn't even sell your kids to go to this thing if you wanted to, because the thing is completely sold out. But they did announce they're going to stream it worldwide for the low price of $29.99. And fans also have a bundling option for the live stream where you can get the ticket and a collectible t-shirt for $65, which is not bad. Because I feel like a t-shirt in general is probably about $60 from these bigger bands. So get a t-shirt and you get to see Ozzy for, on your laptop, computer screen, phone, wherever you're watching it. But so when they first announced this, fans were kind of like shocked. They couldn't believe that the Ozzy and Sharon and Sabbath, that they were charging for this. They couldn't believe that they were they were asking for money to watch a live stream. And I will admit, I had a little bit of sticker shock at first because I saw $30. I'm like, ooh, seems a little steep, right? $30 for a live stream. And that's just coming from I watched WrestleMania with my Netflix subscription. Everything's like bundled in now. You're just used to everything being like, you pay $10 a month for a service and like you get everything. You don't have to worry about, unless you get, I guess if you get UFC pay-per-views, you still have to pay for those. But I mean, I think $30 is totally reasonable still. Like, even though, like I said, it's kind of like, oh, wow, $30. But when you think about it, it's Ozzy, it's Black Sabbath, it's their last show. I mean, the younger generation is used to YouTube and Netflix and just having everything on demand. And so they're not really used to paying for content. And I think that's like a big part of why people were like, well, this is bullshit. Why are they charging? Which kind of, they're not used to paying for content, and especially they're not used to paying for music. And that kind of digs deeper into a whole nother situation. That's a whole nother bucket of chestnuts. I don't know if we want to get into about how like people just don't see value in recording music like they used to. They don't want to buy music. They don't want to spend money on music. Now, I'm not trying to say everyone. Obviously, I know you're a cool person and you probably want to spend money on music and help out and support the artists. I get that. But I'm just saying in general, people are not used to spending money on content. And even me, like I said, myself, like, I'm not like a Gen Z kid. I'm a little older than that. I'm not going to say exactly how older, but I'm a little older than that. And but even me, like growing up in the era of buying music, I still like, now after all these years of being pampered, like a little princess with streaming, it's hard to go back to paying for things. But that's how it used to be. That's how you used to be able to watch your concerts from home. You got to, if you want to watch your favorite rock stars kick ass on stage from the comfort of your own home, you had to spend a little money. You had to get a pay-per-view, Wait until these kids find out how you used to have to go to a whole store and rent your porn, right? What a crazy concept that is to think about now. Like, you used to have to go to a whole store, like a video store with normal people, like just regular old, like not deviant assholes. And like, you just had to go to the store with like families looking for Air Bud on VHS, and you had to like weave past them and find a curtain also I'm saying this like speculatively because I'm just a little bit young enough that I didn't grow up in that era. But this used to be a thing because my family owned a video store when I was a kid, or they didn't own it, they worked at it. My family hung out at a video store a lot. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Oof, I'm getting off track. Anyway, we would there was a whole curtain, and that's where they kept the goods. That's where they kept the smuts, you know. And you had to peel back that curtain and go there in this like little room to get your dirties, you know, to get your jollies off. And then you rent your video and you go home and you do your thing, you bring it back. That's so crazy. You're borrowing porn. And then every time you watch it, you know everyone else. Like, I don't know, you know what everyone else is doing when they borrowed it. Like, man, I feel like a lot of people probably just didn't bring them back, right? You just like brought them in and you rented them out, took them home, did your business, and you were too ashamed because when you got it, you were probably all horned up and like, yeah, I'm gonna get porn, I don't care. And then you got home and you finished, you're like, I can't go back there. I can't show my face back there. Some kid was trying to rent Home Alone when the last time I was there. That's so embarrassing. Anyway, so the live stream, that's what we're talking about, right? Ozzy Osbourne's live stream is going to be live streamed on their website, backtothebeginning.com. So, and that's why it's not bundled in with Netflix or anything like that, is because it's on their own individual platform. And a lot of fans are calling this whole thing a cash grab. Like, why are they charging money for it? Blah, blah, blah. But like, all the proceeds are going to different charities. Like Ozzy or someone that knows Ozzy's Facebook password confirmed that 100% of the proceeds from the live stream are going to go to Acorns Children's Hospice, Berman's Children's Hospital, and Cure Parkinson's as well. So that's a big reason why they couldn't do it on like one of these other platforms like Netflix or Peacock or whatever. I'm assuming anyway. The reason why is because they need to have it on their own platform so they can control where the money goes. You know, if they upload this to Netflix or HBO Go, and also it'll probably crash because those platforms always do. If they do that, then they've got to split the pot with those streaming companies. So in order to keep all the money in house and be able to do what they want with it, which is supposed to be donated to charity, they got to put it on their own website. So I really hope that the bandwidth on that website, I really hope it holds up. I don't want the news story to be that following Monday, like, oh, outraged metal fans freak out because Ozzy's and Black Sabbath's final show crashes and no one could watch it. Like, that's not the headline I want to read. Okay, that's not what I want to. I know, like, everyone loves negativity and negativity clicks and all that shit, but I want the final Ozzy Osbourne show, final Black Sabbath show to go off without a hitch, him to ride off in the sunset, everyone have a great time, everyone just like enjoy it. Someone that won't be enjoying it is whatever band got kicked off of this thing, though. According to an interview Sharon Osbourne did with Louder Sound, she said she had to kick a band off the show last minute. She said, I had a huge to-do with the manager over this celebration with Ozzy and Sabbath, and it was probably the worst way I felt in years. And I don't even care what this person says about me, thinks about me, because he doesn't know me. And he's not going around. And now he's going around making up bullshit lies because I threw his band off the bill. And now I need to know what that band was. I need to know who the band is. I mean, come on. like she doesn't specify who the band is, but we got to figure this out, right? All right, so we got the old flyer up here, the old graphic, and we've got the new one they just announced. And I'm looking at the differences between the bands that are on here. And I don't... Rival Sons is on that one too. It looks like all the same bands are listed. So they don't show who the additional performances are on the new graphic. So it could be the Smashing Pumpkins. It could be Red Hot Chili Peppers. It could be Sleep Token. I don't know. So I guess the only way we're really going to know is when this event actually happens. We'll see who is playing and who didn't play that was advertised. I mean, then we'll know. So this can be a long build-up. This can be a long build-up. A lot of anticipation, about a month before we get the answer to this one. Unless, somebody comes out and says, it was me. Sharon kicked me off the show. But I really want to know who it was now. All right. So I think that Tommy Vext is rejoining the band Bad Wolves, or the band Bad Wolves is quietly breaking up. I'm not 100% sure here, but Falling Reverse played a show this past weekend. They played at Rock im Park in Germany. And there's a familiar face plucking the bass. Yeah. tickling those 4 strings. I think it was a 4-string bass. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. But they were playing bass and singing. It was DL from the band Bad Wolves, the lead singer from the band Bad Wolves. And there's been no mention specifically of whether Tyler Burgess is gone from the band officially, whether he's been fired or not. But I mean, Ronnie Radke's been sharing posts on his story saying how much better DL is than Tyler was as a bass player, and how everything sounds so much better. So it seems like Tyler Burgess is gone from the band, and now DL from the band Bad Wolves, the singer of the band Bad Wolves, is now playing bass in Falling Reverse. At least at these shows. I don't know if this is like a side quest thing for him, or if this is a full-time role. But back in April, Doc Coyle, the guitarist from Bad Wolves, and Kyle Kunkel they left the band. They quit. And normally I would say, like, this is them quietly breaking up, right? Like, okay, guitarist, bassist have quit. Now the singer has left the band apparently and is playing bass in one of the biggest rock bands in the world right now. The band's done, right? They're toast. But when Doc and Kyle left, they were replaced by Chris Kane and Kevin Creekman, who were both in the band when Tommy Vext was the lead singer of the band. And Tommy Vext, if you don't know, he was the singer of Bad Wolves during their formative years and some of their bigger songs. And he left the band, I believe, in 2021 due to it was kind of weird because at first they said they were parting ways, but then he said he was fired, but then he said he quit. But what it boils down to is that Tommy Vext left the band due to some of his political views, how they differed for the rest of the band, and like they just couldn't come to eye on that, and it caused a lot of drama. And so he left the band, and now I think he's coming back because Doc Coyle, their guitarist, former guitarist now, he's been very vocal over the past couple of years about how much criticism he's received, how much like hates and death threats and all this stuff that he's gotten from OG Bad Wolves fans because of Tommy Vext. People who love Tommy Vext and love the original lineup and are just pissed that he's not in the band anymore. Like, Doc has talked a lot about how much like heat he's gotten because of this. So I think the fact that Doc has left a band and they've got new members in there, it kind of leads me to believe that Tommy's coming back too. Because like, why, if the band's breaking up, why would you even bother replacing 2 of the members? If Doc, the only thing that would make sense here is if Doc and Kyle left, they replaced them and with the intention of going on. And then DL was like, I'm going to go play with bass with Falling Reverse. I'm out of here. I'm out of 5. And then they were like, okay, we're just going to, figure something else out or break up. But it seems like, I mean, in these order of events, it seems like Doc and Kyle left the band because they know that the band is that Tommy's planning on coming back to the band, and DL was planning on leaving. So they want to bring DL in. They want to bring Tommy back to replace DL. And Doc is like, no, I don't want to be in a band with Tommy anymore. I'm out. So they brought in replacements for them. And now it's just a matter of time before Tommy announces his big return to the band. I think that's what's going on here. This is me speculating wildly, by the way. I have zero go on here. I'm just throwing shit out there and seeing what sticks. But let me know if you think that Tommy Vext is coming back to Bad Wolves. All right, let's get into some new releases this week. I'm going to pull up my Jesea Lee's New Music Friday playlist. That's the best way to stay up to date to all the new releases this week. That's the best way for me to stay up to date. So why wouldn't it be the best way for you to stay up to date, right? And we got a new one from Killswitch Engage, Blood Upon the Ashes. Volbeat dropped their new album. Evanescence teamed up with K-Flay for a song called Fight Like a Girl. We got the All America Rejects dropped their new song, Easy Come, Easy Go. We're actually going to talk about that in a minute. A lot of good stuff. The biggest one, though, probably is, of course, that Fearless song by President that we just spent like 20 minutes talking about. That's out now. But the biggest one, though, is Turnstile dropped their new album, Never Enough, which is pretty awesome. Oh, shut up, Siri. I'm not trying to play you right now. Yeah, Never Enough, the new album from Turnstile, been heavily hyped for months now, and now it's time to decide, the album is out. It's getting warmer out there. It's time to decide. Are we about to have a Turnstile summer? Is this a Turnstile summer? Or, is it just another album that's out there? And so far, let's look at the comments, because I did post about this over on my Instagram and TikTok. And so as I am, man, this is how awesome breaking news is. As I'm scrolling through Instagram to find that, I just saw that DL from Bad Wolves, aka now Falling Reverse, has posted tour dates from Europe and all throughout Europe. So he's on this full European tour with Falling Reverse, apparently. So that is happening. See, that's the other thing too, with these news stories when I'm doing these, like shit changes so fast. Like by the time I finish this podcast, before I even post it, Tommy will probably be back in Bad Wolves, and everything I just said will be bullshit, or the band will be broken up. One of the things will happen. Who knows? So if you're listening to this, because I record these on Mondays and post them on Tuesdays. So if you're listening to this, tell future Jesse, let him know, like, hey, you were early on it. You were early on it. Anyway, what are people saying about the new Turnstile album on my comment section? A lot of people saying 100. Good, but still not there with the previous two, according to Take Band LV. Gage Metchenberg said best album of the year. Panhammer said all Turnstile releases are valid. Good band. Favorite album of the year. Let's see. Tate Farrell said amazing, but Glow On is clear. Definitely some amazing, but Glow On is clear. I guess it means Glow On clears this. That's hip lingo. It means it's cool. Definitely some filler songs on this album. I listen to it and I do enjoy it. I do like it. I find myself doing what I do every time I listen to Turnstile, though. Like I always find myself, I want to like Turnstile more than I do, if that makes sense. Like I think the idea of Turnstile is so cool. Like the band themselves is just a great vibe. I do like their songs. I like their music, but I just like everything about their like whole aesthetic. I just think Turnstile is a cool band and I like them, but I don't like them as much as I want to. Like for whatever reason, there's just something about that band that doesn't 100% scratch me where I itch, It just, they don't fluff all of my pillows. I don't know if it's just like every song is kind of like the same sort of vibe. Everything's like dun 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 dun, Mr. Ray. Every single song at some point the singer goes, "No holiday," with like super reverb vocals, dun 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 dun. And then Mr. Ray, my name is holiday. Seriously, every single song does it. And like that's not a bad thing. Every song is good. Every song might sound kind of the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because like they're all good songs. I know I can see the comment section now. Like, how can you say every song sounds the same? Like, blah, blah, this song has that. Like, I get it. I know there's a lot of nuance in their music. I'm not saying they're all the same song, but I'm just saying it's kind of like the same vibe throughout the entire record. And that's not a bad thing if you like that vibe. But I'm just saying, for whatever reason, as much as I do like the band Turnstile, I feel like I want to like them more than I do. And I can't explain it any more than that. I don't know what it is. I am a fan, though. This is not me. Don't take this out of context. Don't post this. Don't clip this and say Jesse Lee is crapping on Turnstile. He's not a real fan. I do like him. I saw them with Blink-182. And I said the same thing that night. Every song's like, Mr. Ray. Fuck. Turnstile fans are going to be coming for me. Oh, man. All right. Some other quick stories here. Jared Leto is facing accusations of sexual misconduct by multiple women. But he doesn't plan on spending even 30 seconds behind bars because he's denying all the allegations. According to the new report published by Airmail, 9 women, including some of whom were minors when they first were contacted by when they first met the actor/singer. They alleged Leto behaved inappropriately towards them, but a representative from Leto has told Airmail, which I've never heard of Airmail before, but they told the outlet that all of the allegations are expressly denied. Sleep Token played their first show of 2025 in Germany at Rock on Park as well. And their new stage setup looks pretty awesome. They brought this whole ass castle with them. Like the entire stage is turned into a castle, which I don't know what like the payments are to lease a castle, but that's got to be pretty pricey, And then you got to move it, You got to put that, like, is there anything more white trash than a castle RV? Just like Hogwarts on wheels. But I mean, it looks badass. I can't wait to see that live in action. Tyson Ritter made an OnlyFans account. They are promoting this new album hard, and they erected this idea very fast too. But it doesn't look like they're gonna do like any nudity on there or anything like that. Unfortunately, no. I mean, it doesn't look like Tyson Ritter is gonna let it all swing on there. I think this is just a another way for them to connect with the fan base, and just like they've been doing with their house party tour that they've been doing on, I'm sure you've seen the viral videos we talked about last week, how the band's out there doing these house party shows, just showing up in backyards and bowling alleys, and it's an awesome way to reconnect with the fans, and it's doing well for them as far as a promotion as well. And everyone likes All American Rejects again. Everyone's talking about All American Rejects. Everyone's talking about Tyson Ritter. So I'm all for it. Like I said before, I am 100% in support of a Tyson Ritter Renaissance. I'm glad they're back. All right. What do you want to do? You want to watch some videos? Should we chill? Should we watch, should we turn our brains off and watch some dumb videos for a minute? I think that's a good idea. And I see people in the comment section sometimes, they're like, why are you not using some big old giant studio headphones when you're watching stuff and you're listening to stuff on streams? Like, why are you not, why are you using earbuds, like these little tiny like earbuds? It's because the big ones hurt my ears. I don't know if I have stupid ears, if my ears are like too big or too small or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. It would be the first time anything's been too big in my life. But yeah, I don't know. The big headphones hurt my little ears for some reason. So yeah, that's why I wear these guys. All right. Don't make fun. Don't tease me. I'm sensitive. All right, let's watch some videos here. This first one is from a Seether concert recently. They played at the Hard Rock Casino. I'm gonna give you some context here. But the frontman Sean Morgan went off on security after his 7-year-old daughter was removed from the side of the stage.
Hey, sorry that took a little while. I had my fucking kid on the side of the stage the whole entire show. And then suddenly this fucking arsehole kicks her the fuck off the stage.
Arsehole.
She's 7 years old. What? And now she can't even go in the front of fucking house and watch the show? Man, fuck you!
Right. What happened?
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with people? She's a fucking child and you just kicked her off the fucking stage her dad's playing. I hope your dick is super fucking huge.
I hope your dick is super fucking huge. This is probably my fault. I am always at shows telling people that the singer's my dad so that I can get on the side of the stage and watch from there. I've probably, ruined it. They're probably just being cautious, I do love After This, so I'm not going to play it, but they turned the song Remedy into a big diss track about how all the security guards have tiny dicks, basically. That's just a fantastic way to respond. I love it. All right. Let's see what we got here.
That's what I did last night. I went to Metallica. That's what I did last night.
Yeah, Metallica.
Last night I took my wife there, and she'd never been. She grew up in a nice household. She doesn't know what a Metallica concert is. I showed her some YouTube videos, and she's like, oh, that looks like a good time. And she didn't know. She didn't know what was going to happen. First of all, everyone goes.
Yeah, real side note here. I was talking to my wife recently, and I asked her, how old do you think James Hetfield is? And she's like, and James Hetfield is, like, she knows Metallica. My wife is, like, not lame or anything like that. She's a very cool person. She knows who Metallica is. But, she doesn't know all the names of all the band members. And she's like, who's James Hetfield? She's like, and then she's like, he sounds like a Civil War, general or something like that, James Hetfield. And then I showed her a picture of James Hetfield, and she's like, yeah, he still looks like a Civil War general. And she's not wrong.
Goes to a Metallica concert. There were kids as young as 10. And also a lady I watched drag in an oxygen tank. Not making that up. As we were walking to the stadium, there was an older lady dragging an oxygen tank with wheels on it. She had the
I've seen that lady.
Tubes, but she had a rock and roll shirt on with like holes, like the trendy. She ran the cable through the holes. And she just had it. She's like, yeah, we're gonna go listen to some Metallica. And my wife's just wide-eyed, and I'm like, yeah, that surprised me too, but this is what we're doing. Oh yeah, just scared the hell out of my wife. Just 2 hours is summoning the devil. It was wonderful. Yeah, it blew her mind. Like the first song was Creeping Death. If you don't know Metallica, Creeping Death's great song. And then there's like a breakdown in the middle of the song, like dun, 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 and the lights are red. And then during that part, the entire audience chants "Die." And this is my favorite band. So this is a person she loves. She's married to. She's never been to and she's just watching me, and I'm over there going, "Die, die."
It's a good wife. She's
as
cool.
loud as I can, and I just look over at her like, huh? And she's like, what are we doing right now? She had no idea what anything was. There's a mosh pit. She was looking at it like it was January 6th. She was like, what is going on over there? I'm like, oh, that's the mosh pit. And she's like, what is that? And I look over. She's Googling what a mosh pit is. It's like our mosh
Okay,
pit
no,
safe.
come on.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just thinking of the lady with the oxygen tank just go die. It's like, you're the closest of all, really? You're one greasy knob from dialing that down a little too low. You won't make it to the encore. And there was supposed to be a show tomorrow, but it just got canceled because James Hetfield has COVID. Yeah.
Oh, this must be an older,
no concert
older
tomorrow.
set.
And it kind of made sense. I don't think he was feeling that good last night because there's a lot of, he was having the audience sing a lot of the songs. He was like singing it, but he was like, now you guys. And we're like, die. You know, we were doing a lot of the lifting. And I now looking back at that, a little jealous from what I do for a living because I'm like, I can't show up sick. And I'm like, all right, now you guys. And you guys are just like, meow, meow. Like, what are you... It's a lot of.
That is funny, but also I do like, regardless if like a singer does that because like they're not feeling well or whatever the reason is, that is the absolute worst when you're at a show and the band's playing like one of your favorite songs and they're about to sing one of your favorite parts of the song and the singer's like, he holds the mic out to you. It's like, no, I don't want to hear all these dumbasses sing. I want to hear you sing. I came here to hear you singing, man. Come on. All right. This is one, next one's for my buddies in TX2.
How to start an emo band.
Step 1, find a kind of gay singer.
Hey, are you gay? Kind of.
Step 2, find a minority to join your band.
So you're a minority.
I'm a lesbian too.
Oh. Wait. Do you play any instruments?
Nope.
Also, the keychain in front of the pants, I did not realize that was a lesbian thing until recently. Because when I was a kid, we wore them on like the side of our belt loop. So is it just the front that signifies lesbian, or is it any keychain on your? I'm just wondering.
Never have.
Boys, I think we found our bassist.
Step 3, find a guitarist with an ego.
Do you like Sleep Token?
I don't really listen to pop music. I'm more into the heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, that's our guitarist. Step 4, there's not enough drummers. Steal a drummer from another band. He's ours. We're taking him. Hey, we're taking him. Taking it. Go. Go. Step 5, write a song together. Let us know what you
Play a little bit of his music, but I better not get a copyright strike for that, dude. I swear to God, this whole video gets fucked because of that one spot. Be very angry. All right, last little video here. Caption is when the corn doesn't digest.
I gotta lay off the corn.
You gonna watch your hands?
That's a whole new meaning to the word scatting. That's for sure. All right, let's wrap it up with some questions here. If you have any questions for next week's episode of the show, because it's too damn late to get them in now. If you got any episode or questions for next week's episode, go ahead and drop them in the comment section of YouTube or Spotify. Spotify has a fancy little comment section right now. It's pretty popping. It's popping, man. I'm telling you, it's really cool. You know, I got comments the other day. I was in there reading comments. I was like, woof, people are leaving comments on Spotify now. It's a cool thing to do. Yeah, so leave your questions there or hit me up at Jesea Lee on TikTok and Instagram. I throw up a poll once a week. Every weekend, I usually throw up a poll at some point. I throw up my poll. Not a poll. I throw up a sticker, a little question sticker, and ask me anything sticker. So follow me on Instagram at Jesea Lee if you want to get your questions in for next week. You can do that as well over there. All right, let's see. This first one coming from Chris Musick, Musk on Instagram said, "Did Tyler leave Fallen in reverse?" That's what it looks like, man. That's what it appears to be happening. Like I said, DL just posted those videos or posted those tour dates a few moments ago, just moments ago. And so it looks like he's full on in the band right now, playing bass for them. I tried so hard and got so far on Instagram. Oh, okay. I see a picture of Chester Bennington. What's your next concert? My next concert, I can't talk about. I signed an NDA for my next concert, okay? Because it's not official yet. My next concert, if this is going to be my next show that I'm planning on going to, this next one I'm covering, It's going to be a really, really big one. Like the biggest show I've ever been to in my entire life. So, and it'll 100% be the biggest thing I've ever covered. That's what she said. The biggest thing I've ever covered as far as work wise. So, but again, I signed an NDA. I can't say anything about it just yet. Obviously, you'll be the first to know once it's out there. Jesse Pinkman 2133. Never met a Jesse I didn't like. Said, what's your favorite Metallica album? I know I'm going to get some hate for this. I know I'm going to get shit on for this. The Black Album, dude. I'm sorry. I love the Black Album. I like my Metallica albums like I like my coffee. Okay? Black. That's my favorite album. Call me a pussy in the comment section. Go ahead. Lewis True. Lewis TREU on Instagram said, what's better in festival headline, or what's better in a festival? Headlining a secondary stage or opening the main stage? Sorry. This is worded kind of oddly. Hold on. What is better in a festival? Headlining a secondary stage or open to the main headline on the main stage? I'm going to say opening on the main headline stage. Because if you headline on the secondary stage, you're going to be playing around the same time as a headliner. And that's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough go. All right. You know, when I was at Sonic Temple Festival, ICP went on the same time as Metallica. But that was okay because ICP has a ravenous fan base. I have an interview up with those guys on the channel right now if you want to check it out. People love ICP. So they didn't have much problem getting a crowd there. But like, you know, if you're a newer band that's just about to break and they got you on a headline spot on a second stage and Sleep Tokens on the other one or Linkin Park's on the other one, it's going to be a tough time. So I'm saying if you get to choose for whatever reason, usually you don't, but if you get to choose, yeah, go on the main stage. Speaking of Sleep Tokens, Super Harry 101 said, do you think Sleep Tokens still deserves to be in the top 10 after so long? I'm assuming you're talking about my top 10 trending tracks this week from Rock to Alternative that I do every week. Yeah, why not? That even our Arcadia album's not that old. It just dropped last month. And it's the biggest album in rock and metal right now, pretty much. Like, I mean, the top 10 tracks, of course, like I don't decide those. Those are, you know, those rankings are based on votes, on your votes. But personally, yeah, of course I think they deserve being in it. I'm not saying, you know, I've gone on record millions of times. Like Sleep Token's not my favorite band ever. I don't really love that band like in insane amounts. Like I think they're okay, but they are clearly a very popular band and people very much love them. Like of course they still deserve being in the top 10. Like I said, the album just came out. Like it's not that old, you know. I think we get this mindset like because there's so much stuff coming out. It's like, oh, that, you know, I'll post about some music news like a day or two later because I can't get to everything all the time. So I'll post like a day or two later. People are like, this is this is old news. It's like, this just happened like 2 days ago. Do you know what it was like before the internet, man? Do you remember that? Like when you got your news from a fucking newspaper? Like there was a lot of stuff that was reported on weeks after it happened. You know, that's just how it happened. Like, I mean, yeah. So anyway, back to the original point. Yeah, I think Sleep Token does deserve to be in the top 10 as long as people still love their songs and keep voting for them and keep listening to them, and they're the top streamed songs and they're on the top of the charts, then yeah, they deserve to be in the top 10, I think. All right, that's going to be my last question this week. If you want to find, like I said, if you want to drop some questions for next week, you can leave them in the comment section on Spotify, YouTube, or follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jesse Lee and look for that question sticker prompt that I post next weekend. I'm going to do that every weekend. Also, be sure to bang your head on that follow button on Spotify, that follow button, subscribe button on YouTube, on all those social medias. Leave those 5-star ratings. Hook me up. Help me out. Help out the show. Give me some love. And above all else, whatever you do, no matter what, remember this. Share this episode with somebody that doesn't suck. All right? Take it easy now, and bye-bye.
Jesse Lee Show, Jesse Lee Show, Jesse Lee